And on this day, Stratos was freed. What's going on, you guys? Slim here with a new video today. We're here to talk about the finally released September 2018 ban list. This ban list actually goes into effect on the 17th, you guys. For those of you who are going to Columbus, Ohio for the 200th YCS, this is our list, you guys. We knew it was coming. We were hoping that we would get a new list before the tournament took place, and sure enough, Konami delivered. I think a lot of people were wondering when this was going to happen. There was a lot of hints towards as soon as Disc Commander got its errata, we all thought that there was going to be a ban list dropping. Of course, we all got fooled. They were just doing site maintenance. But a couple days later, they delivered, and of course, everyone's talking about it. Stratos has finally been banned after multiple years of staying on the ban list. I'll talk about if I feel this will make any changes to our format, and if I feel Stratos coming back will make any difference. Unfortunately, they did hit a hero lives to 1, so it really is hard to say if heroes will actually get their time to shine. But other than that, we're going to get into it and talk about, based on this list, what the best decks will be for the upcoming 200th YCS. So we're going to start with our ban cards. We have Nightmare Goblin. This was the obvious hit. I think a lot of people realized that they could not ban Firewall. Being one of the main cards of the protagonist in the anime, you're not able to actually touch that card. Unfortunately, we really know that Firewall has been the real problem with all these infinite loops, especially with Goki. However, with Goblin gone, there's no more additional normal summon. There's no more U-Link in a sense that they'd be using Goblin. I'm sure they'll find a way to U-Link, but it will not be as consistent because Goblin really led to a lot of the problems. So I'm really glad Goblin's out of there. The card's been a real problem since it came out. Unfortunately, being one of the newer cards, it sucks that it had to get hit, but it has been a problem since release. So Nightmare Goblin is gone. The next card was actually an interesting one, and I think someone's going to have to explain why this was banned. The Samsara Lotus. It's a level 1 dark monster. So for those of you who don't know, its simple effect is during your end phase, if you control no spell or traps, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face-up attack position. This card's controller takes 1,000 damage during each of their standby phases. I don't know what the reason would be for this. I'm sure that there's some crazy combo or whatnot that we will probably be getting the cards for in future sets, so I'm just assuming that they did a preemptive hit on this card so that it wouldn't, cause any degenerate FTKs or anything. I look at it and I see level 1, I see plant, I see dark, and I think to myself, okay, it's not a tuner, but I'm sure it would definitely cause something crazy. If any of you know down below, let me know in the comments if there's anything from Japan that has surfaced in the OCG, just something we're not, up to date with. Let me know, because it'd be interesting to know why they hit such an old common. This is actually an old common from one of the really old booster sets, so it's interesting that this card actually got hit. So that was the second ban card, and the third and final ban card was MX Invoker. Pretty crazy. Again, they could not hit Firewall, you guys. I was hoping they wouldn't hit Isolde. I think a lot of people were getting the wrong idea. They were thinking, oh, we got to hit Isolde. We got to hit Isolde. We got to do away with that card. The problem is then you're taking away a card from Noble Knights. So by hitting Invoker, it takes away basically the level 3 version of Goki, so people are going to be focusing more on summoning Isolde. And now they have Isolde. Yes, they have Firewall, but they've lost Goblin, they've lost Invoker, and I think that that's the best, honestly, that we could expect. I think we were really just kind of dreaming if we thought they would hit Firewall and something else. So with Invoker gone, Goblin gone, it does something to the deck along with some of the other hits on this list. So those are the ban cards. There are only 3 ban cards this time. Going on to the limited cards. The first one we all saw coming was Hornet Drones. I don't really need to talk about this. This card is insane. Every deck has been able to, just thrive off this card existence. A token generator card is just really unhealthy in this format, so that card has been limited to 1. Will it affect Pure Sky Strikers? Yes, but they do still have 3 engage and pretty much all the other cards, so with Hornet Drones to 1, it was something we were already expecting, and we're mimicking the OCG with Hornet Drones to 1. The next card that actually came back is actually Exciton Knight. It's been a really long time since Exciton Knight was in the game. It'll be interesting to see if this card really does anything. The reason I say that is decks and strategies these days are more link-based and not so much XYZ-based, so it'll be interesting to see if this card actually has any impact. It punishes people for overextending, so pretty cool, but to be honest, I don't actually know if Exciton Knight will actually have an impact in this format. Next card was actually A Assault Core. This was interesting. I completely forgot about ABC, to be honest. I guess this is their way to kind of just put a damper on ABC. I guess if people try to do the ABC FTK or anything like that, limiting A Assault Core makes it to where you don't have the ability to go into more than 1 buster, unless you can recycle the A Assault Core somehow. So outside of that, this is their hit to ABC. Next card that came back, I know you guys are all talking about it. You all are saying it's Slim, play Dark World, Slim, play Dark World. Card Destruction came back to 1. It's kind of crazy. I just made a video on why this card was banned a couple, like, last week. So it's pretty crazy they actually brought it back. It'll be interesting to see what this card does. It does grant a player a new hand. If you guys heard my opinion on it, it's interesting that they brought this card back. Will it do anything for Dark World? Hard to say. I still don't think Dark World will rise to Tier 1 magically because of this card came back, but it's pretty cool that they did it. And also, it'll be interesting to see what this card does with the new Danger Archetype. So, it was interesting they brought Card Destruction back after all this time, so pretty cool. And then, of course, the infamous Stratos. You are finally freed after all these years. Welcome back. Again, I don't know what this will do for heroes. Unfortunately, one of the other cards that got limited severely hurts the hero deck by going to 1. But I think it's cool that Stratos is finally back. It'll be interesting to see if any loyal players who played Stratos in every deck will continue to play it, and now that it's back, what everyone will do. Maybe we'll see it in the Hero Goki deck, maybe we'll see it in other versions of heroes or whatnot, but it's awesome to see Stratos back after all this time. So if we couldn't ask for anything else, at least we finally got Stratos back after all this time. We also got Morphing Jar back, you guys. Morphing Jar to 1. Shout out to my homie Paul. Empty Jar Cooper. People are thinking, yeah, Paul's going to try something with Empty Jar. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. With this card finally back at 1, you are able to play the deck. Don't know how good the deck is, though, because Ash is a hell of a card. You can just Ash this card since it's a draw card, so pretty crazy, but very cool to see Morphing Jar back after its ban a couple formats ago. And then Electra Might. Electra Might goes to 1. Our homie Steven gets banned. It really sucks, but he called it. They would definitely touch Electra Might. This card is just so strong for the Pendulum Archetype. It does so much, and even though Pendulums were not winning as many events, they were definitely topping and definitely being there in high amounts of tournaments, so it's good that they hit this card. I feel that it was necessary, at least to 1, and this way it's not banned. This way you can still play it. But it definitely needed to go to 1, because being able to summon 3 of them, activate all their effects, and then continue your plays is insane. One of the craziest cards to come back to 1 on this list is Super Polymerization. If you guys remember, we had Super Poly during the Shaddoll, Satellanite, and Burning Abyss format. It's crazy that Super Poly is back. This card is insane. I can definitely see myself playing this card in Mech Knight Invoked, just because of the ability to actually use Super Poly, using it for a light monster, using it for whatever. So very, very cool that this card is finally back. I can't wait to see what new options this card opens up to every deck now that it's back at 1. Finally going to 1 after all this time is Cyphering Lord Omega. We have gone through multiple formats of multiple Omegas, hand looping and all that, playing the 60-card build before Grass was banned, and putting Omega to 1 now finally, puts the card in check. I think this is probably one of the best level 8 synchros in the game, and having it at 1 is fine because you still have access to it, you still have the ability to use it, and everyone forgets this card is recyclable. When it goes to the graveyard, its other effect lets you shuffle it back into your extra deck. So very interesting that they finally hit this card after all this time. I don't think it makes any difference, though. I don't think there were any decks that were really spamming Omega since Grass got hit, but I mean, outside of that, it was a much-needed hit that finally took place. And for the last limited card, we have A Hero Lives. This is what I was talking about. Even though Stratos has been freed, A Hero Lives has gone to 1. Kind of crazy, all the hype behind people buying A Hero Lives, but with Stratos back and Hero Lives at 1, you're not going to be able to see them as consistently, but it's still there, so at least you still have some kind of engine cards. I think this card is one of the riskiest cards in the game, paying half your life to summon a hero monster, but I mean, it is what it is. Now that Stratos is back, it's your best target for this card. So at 1, it'll be interesting to see how many people will play the deck and resolve A Hero Lives and summon Stratos. So that is it for the limited cards. Now on to our semi-limited cards, the cards that went to 2. They put Dark Destroyer back to 2. We all know that this is something we don't like. No one here really cares for Cosmo, and the fact that they put Dark Destroyer back to 2 is crazy. I think they're trying to, I guess, kind of give you a chance to play Cosmo again, but in all honesty, I don't know if the deck will really do anything. Kaijus are still a problem. Cards that, just get around Dark Destroyer and stuff like that are just really, really strong. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, if anyone will try to pick Cosmos back up now that Dark Destroyer is at 2. Next card that actually threw me off is they put Call to the Grave to 2. I mean, this card literally, I feel, is not a broken card. I feel this card is actually very balanced. I feel that it does a lot of good things, being able to stop hand traps and being able to act as a pseudo DD Crow. The fact that this card went to 2 just kind of puzzles me, but outside of that, I mean, it's still going to be a card we play. We still need to have an answer to hand traps. It's one of our best answers to hand traps, and it's good either going first or second. So at 2, the card is still fine. We'll hopefully still see it enough. Another weird semi-limit was limiter removal to 2. This card can create a lot of crazy OTKs in any machine-based deck. There's not too many machine-based decks. I guess you could say Pure Sky Striker, but I don't ever see the day they would ever play this card. But it's kind of cool that people use this card in machine-based strategies. It'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to play this at 2 in that deck or in any other machine-based strategies. Finally, going to 2 is Scapegoat. We really felt this card needed to get banned or go to 1. At 3, it was just such a problem. It made Trickstars insane. It made, just any deck that played it, whenever they would resolve it, it basically would be game because you just had free range with the tokens to make Link monsters. So at 2, I don't really think that solves the problem. We're still going to be able to see it more. So I don't think that was a great hit, but I mean, again, it is what it is. Scapegoat will still be an extremely powerful card this format. They finally touched Terraforming, putting Terraforming to 2. Personally, I'm fine with that. I ran only 2 Terraformings in my Mech Knight Invoke deck, so 2 Terraforming is fine by me. I have no complaints. They're trying to lower the consistency of us opening a field spell card, and I guess in their own way, this is how they kind of hit Trickstars. So, yeah. And then on to the Unlimiteds. These are the cards that are completely legal at 3. We've got Apocalypse Towers. No one cares. No one plays this card. Disc Commander with your new errata. It's absolute crap. Ring of Destruction, again, a victim of errata. Not the worst card. Its new version of the effect isn't that great, but it'll be interesting to see if Chainburn players play a full maxed out 3 copies in their deck. Definitely something to look out for. These burn cards are not to be ignored. They can catch you real quick and you can lose. So just something to keep an eye on. Remember, Ring is at 3, so don't be surprised if you do run into rogue strategies that play 3 Ring of Destruction. And last but not least, we have Burial from a Different Dimension coming back to 3. This is actually one of my favorite old school spell cards. Works really well with the zombie engine and being able to recycle all your monsters and whatnot when they're banished and shuffling them back. I feel this in tandem with Omega will be a pretty cool strategy for any zombie-based or banished-based deck. So that is our whole list, you guys. My overall thoughts, it's okay. I don't think it is the best hits they could have done. I feel as far as Goki goes, hitting Goblin and hitting Invoker was the best we could expect. Everyone thought they would hit Phoenix Blade. I guess they didn't even think of that. They probably thought, this card's been around forever. You've been dealing with it for since 2007 in multiple formats. You can deal with it for the rest of this game's existence. So they didn't really touch that. I still feel Goki is going to be a hell of a deck. I feel that with Midbreaker Field, they feel safe being able to just go off with their whole combo. It'll be interesting to see how they do their U-Link now without Goblin. I'm sure there's a way. I know there's always a way, so it'll be interesting to see what Goki does. As far as pure Sky Strikers, again, they did lose Drones, 2 copies of Drones, but they still have 3 engaged. They still have all the cards. They still have all the consistency cards. So I feel that they're still going to find a way to play Pure. I still feel Pure is definitely a contender for one of the best decks in the format. Just refer to the OCG. Onward to Trickstars, they didn't do a damn thing to this deck, and I think that's just really scary. They decide to put Terraforming to 2 and Scapegoat to 2 and think that will do anything. That does absolutely nothing. Yes, the Sky Striker version of Trickstar will not be as strong, but with still having 2 copies of Scapegoat, still having 2 Terraforming, still having all their engine intact, I think we'll definitely be seeing a lot more Trickstar this upcoming format, so prepare for it. The Mech Knight Invoke deck, my deck, I feel like the deck is fine. Losing Goblin, losing Hornet Drones, losing Terraforming. Terraforming never mattered. I only played 2 copies. Call by the Grave, -1 copy opens up another slot in the deck. Putting Scapegoat to 2, I didn't even play Scapegoat, so that's fine. Putting Goblin, banning Goblin. To be honest, I never really summoned Goblin. You would use it mostly with Phantom Skyblaster. Now that Goblin is banned, I don't know if we'll play this card, so it'll be interesting to see what route we take with the Mech Knight Invoke deck, but it's definitely still a contender, so do not sleep on that deck. As far as like all the other decks go, I think everything is pretty much the same. Pendulums did take a big hit with Electra Might going to 1, but again, they still have access to the card, so it is still a viable strategy. As far as the other decks go, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but my overall thoughts on the list, it could have been better, but again, this is what we get. We've been waiting a long time for this format to end. We've had this list since May 21st, so we've been waiting quite a long time. Again, this list will go into effect on the 17th. Those of you that are traveling the 200th YCS, remember, this is our list. Remember, they will put it into effect, effective on the 17th and carrying on to the event, which will start, I believe, on the 21st. So make sure everyone is up to date on that. But other than that, this is the list, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like the list? Do you not like the list? Do you feel there is so much more they could have done, or did they do enough? How happy are we that they finally freed Stratos? It's been so long. So welcome back, old friend. It's great to see you finally back in circulation in our game. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.